you mentioned about the older group, and you want to tell us a little bit about what you classify as older group, and I'll quickly give you the result of the poll. There are 48% here who are above the age of 45 at the time of close of the poll. Right. So 48% over 45, and the rest, of course, below 45. So very high number of people above 45. I don't know what we call old.
Well, I'm above 45, so, and yeah, I guess I'm in the old category. So let's put it this way. You know, in the above, I can show you pictures, but I don't want to, you know, scare you guys with what you know, I might miscommunicate or you might misinterpret. In the above 75 age group, Indians are actually at median risk for COVID case fatality compared to the rest of the world. When I say rest of the world, I'm counting basically China, Italy, Brazil, and the US, because this is the places we have very good data on. Why is that? Because if you are in that 75, 80 plus category in India, you are already, you know, kind of unusually healthy to have made it that far. So, you know, there's a selection bias. If you're not healthy, you would not have made it to this age at all. And in that sense, you're actually not a representative population as far as India is concerned, because the Indian ecosystem doesn't really tolerate the weak amongst us. To make it to that age group, you really have to be strong. So actually, in that age category, yes, it's a much higher risk of case fatality, but you are at better odds than many people around the world, particularly in Brazil and even in China, as a matter of fact. I think Chinese people in that age group had a higher case fatality rate than Indians did. The 45 to 70, 75 age group is the challenging age group, where if you are hypertensive, diabetic, or have, you know, or obese or have chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, then you are at substantially higher risk than if you did not have any of these. If you had managed hypertension, if you had diabetes that was under management, and if you had, you know, your weight under control, you are at substantially lower risk. And this is the story of this whole epidemic. It's amongst people who progress to that, you know, to the stage of severe disease, 80% had one of these comorbidities, right? So which means if you didn't have the comorbidities, it's a very, very low risk. And even the remaining 20%, it's really not that great. So in that sense, it's really a disease of our habits, of our lifestyle, of our behavior, of our, you know, physical fitness and all of these things. And so again, you know, don't take away what I'm saying and get scared by it. I'm just trying to lay out the facts as far as the science goes. It does not mean that you individually are going to, you know, suffer from COVID or have something terrible happen to you, because you have to remember that at the end of the day, the overall risk of dying from COVID is actually still quite small, right? It's still quite small. My guess it's about 0.2%. So what is 0.2%? It's 2 per 1,000. Now, why are we so scared of it? It is because for most other diseases, you don't have almost everyone being infected by it. Flu doesn't infect everybody. Typhoid doesn't infect everybody. So when the disease doesn't infect everybody, that 2 per 1,000 is not a, you know, deeply meaningful. It's concerning for us only because this is a disease, because of our lack of immunity to it, because of lack of prior exposure. Nearly all of us are going to get the disease or be vaccinated, you know, before we get that disease. It is for that reason that it is troublesome. It is not because your risk of this from this disease is particularly higher than many other things that you might get.
So I was going to ask you this question later on, but I think the way I see it, and I'd like to summarize that, you know, whether India is an exception in terms of COVID-19 in any ways, the ones which we have identified is one, the age group above 75, and what you mentioned. Second is comorbidity are the biggest driver of the disease, and that's the reason for the mortality. And we have a dangerous age group between 45 and 75. And I should add that, you know, in terms of our demography, 65% of Indians are under the age of 35.
Exactly.